Hello and welcome to the July episode of NCIA Today. I'm your host, Bethany Moore, NCIA's Communications Manager. The month of July was a hot one, and we hope you're enjoying your summer so far, although probably from the safety and comfort of your homes. The NCIA team has been keeping busy by rolling out new educational webinars in our Industry Essentials series, covering topics ranging from veterans' access to cannabis, to what's happening with the medical cannabis program in Illinois, to ways to manage risks and protect your business during the COVID-19 pandemic. Be sure to check out the schedule of upcoming webinars so you can keep your calendars full throughout the rest of the summer and beyond. NCIA members definitely won't want to miss this members-only webinar on August 12th for a Policy Council conversation on interstate commerce. Speaking of living that digital life, our network enjoyed the debut of our Cannabis Caucus CYBER series in June so much that we're excited to announce a second round of events in 9 new markets happening in September. Get that back-to-school vibe starting on Tuesday, September 15th through Thursday, October 1st for a lively evening of education and entertainment, all from the comfort of your home. These Cannabis Caucus CYBER events are not only a premier destination for knowledge and networking in the era of social distancing, they also present unique marketing opportunities for sponsors looking to put their brand in front of the cannabis industry's most influential community. Sponsorship packages include branding in all event promotion before, after, and during the event, and start as low as $750. If that sounds like a no-brainer for your company, reach out to our business development team today. The Cannabis Caucus CYBER events are only accessible to NCIA members, so if you aren't yet part of your industry's trade association, be sure to become one today so you can join us in cyberspace next month. And of course, we all have accepted by now that the year 2020 is kind of canceled, or at least postponed, so NCIA's national and regional conferences are being reinvented. NCIA's Midwest Cannabis Business Conference, originally scheduled for August 26th through 27th in Detroit, will now take place August 25th through 26th, 2021. Our 7th annual Cannabis Business Summit and Expo, which would have been held September 29th through October 1st in San Francisco, will now take place in August in 2021. NCIA's 10th annual Cannabis Industry Lobby Days, set to take place in Washington, D.C., September 15th through 17th this year, will now be May 25th through 27th, 2021. In lieu of the in-person events this year, we'll hold a virtual event showcasing our class-leading educational programming and continued focus on advocacy and community in serving the industry. This experience is scheduled for October 21st through 22nd, 2020. Details will be available soon. In the meantime, let's check in with our DC team to hear from NCIA's Director of Government Relations, Michael Correa. Hey Mike, what's the word around the Beltway?
Hey Bethany, how you doing? Normally we'd be going into August recess right around this time, but because of COVID, things are going into August recess. Congress is staying in a little later. So there's still, as of this recording, which is the end of July, there's still stuff going on in Congress. So a lot of things still going on at the last minute.
So is any of that work still going on in Congress, including any cannabis legislation by chance?
Well, one, I'm glad you asked because the House of Representatives just passed what they call their appropriations bill, their funding bill for the year, which funds the federal government for the year. The House Democrats passed it. It passed all of the House that allows states to implement their own adult use cannabis laws without fear of federal prosecution. And currently in law, there are protections for states that have medical marijuana laws. This provision would apply to all cannabis laws. So which basically would allow states to go forward with whatever legalization efforts they wanted to do.
Wow, that is really great progress. So is this going to pass and become a law? And what does it mean for cannabis industry businesses if it does?
So one, that is the challenge. It's passed half of Congress. Now it has to go to a Republican Senate, which is the odds of something like that being included in are slim. But we're halfway there. Every year it seems like we go a little further along, we get more support. This is something we're going to be fighting for. But if that provision passes the Senate, gets signed by the president, becomes law, it would allow states to basically legalize cannabis at their speed that they want without fear of federal prosecution.
Definitely great progress and good to hear. What else is going on in DC this summer?
So during the COVID responses that Congress, pandemics going on, Congress is really focused on COVID, on the healthcare aspect. When we were lobbying congressional offices and asking them, the response we kept getting back was, now's not the time to hit a home run. Now's not the time to burn bridges. If it's not COVID related, don't bother us. We're too busy. And so the cannabis industry and advocates got together and we started thinking what would be the best opportunity to do something during this pandemic. And what we came around to was safe banking. Safe banking will take cash out of the system. It's a healthcare component. You're not spreading the germs. You're not spreading cash. So we made a great case that safe would be important. It's timely. It fits into the COVID relief. It's a healthcare policy issue. It's a safety issue. The House Democrats supported it, and they passed the bill in the most recent HEROES Act. Right now, Congress is debating their next emergency funding bill, and we are working behind the scenes. We're working Senate offices. We're working with advocates, industry people. We're building up coalitions to do whatever we can to get this provision in.
What can NCIA members do right now to step in and help these efforts?
Well, one, any NCIA member and just advocates in general, making sure you're calling your elected officials, your members of Congress, your senators, calling those people to say how important it is. Build the case of why including this safe provision is important. I'm a lobbyist. I go there, I explain the situation to members, but they want to hear from their constituents and they want to hear from their community and they want to know why it's a safe issue. And so just, being active, being knowledgeable, spreading the word on social media channels and making that message get back to DC so our members of Congress can hear.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike, and thanks again for all the good work. Before we wrap up this episode, here's a few reminders. NCIA's powerful webinar series, Industry Essentials, brings you new learning opportunities every week. So be sure to register you and your team in advance to secure your spot. Access to our webinars and virtual events are completely free for NCIA members. While we're disappointed that we'll not be hosting in-person events for the rest of the year, our first and foremost priority is the health and safety of our community. We'll continue to deliver quality content, online networking, and serve our members to help them be as successful as possible in this ever-changing environment while we press on with our cannabis policy reform efforts in Congress. This unexpected disruption to our 2020 events program has a serious financial impact on NCIA's operations. However, as the industry's leading voice in Washington, D.C., our government relations team continues to work around the clock to advance our industry's interests. If you support the important work of ending federal marijuana prohibition and opening opportunities for the legal industry, please make sure that your business is a member of NCIA or consider making a donation to NCIA during this difficult time. If you're not following our social media channels on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, check out all the great content and inspiration we're sharing. If you're a member of NCIA, we encourage you to check out your new member benefit, NCIA Connect, and dive right into the conversation today. We'll see you next month.